everyone, welcome back to today's video. In the last video, I have discussed about many important factors which are important for measurement and instrumentation, like the various forces which drive the instruments, the statistical analysis. I talked about statistical analysis, then different type of analog instruments I have discussed. So one thing which was left was principles of operation, so that I told you I'll discuss in the next video, so I'm discussing it now. uh, so next, let us move to the topic: analog meters, principles and its operation. So let us begin. Okay, so analog instrument, they are based on certain principles. Okay, the analog instruments, as I have discussed, it consists of dial, it consists of pointer. So those things, the deflection of the pointer, that happens, but that happens because of a uh, effect, right? There must be some force which will drive this pointer from rest. So that force, that thing, that deflection, all these things are based on certain principles. Okay, so I will discuss about the principles of operations of instruments now. So basically, there are five effects which are applied in analog meters: magnetic effect, heating effect, electrostatic effect, electromagnetic effect and Hall effect. Okay, these are the five types of effect which are applied in analog meters, based on which the instruments work. So let us discuss one by one each effect. So the first is magnetic effect. So as the name suggests, something magnetic related to magnetism will happen here, will occur. Okay, so what happens, the instrument, the conductor, the placed in the instrument, that is placed in a magnetic environment. Okay, some magnetic field is there and the conductor is placed in the magnetic field. Now what happens when the conductor is placed in the magnetic field? Current will flow in the conductor, and the conductor will have its own magnetic field, right? The conductor, current carrying conductor, it starts behaving like a magnet, right? It has its own magnetic field. So the magnetic effect of current flows through the conductor induces a magnetic field around it, the magnetic field in which the conductor is placed. So current flows, that current flowing in the conductor will help in generating another magnetic field, right? So this magnetic field and the magnetic field which was already there, both will be, there will be an interaction of this two magnetic field, and there will be a distortion of magnetic field lines. This gives rise to another, it happens like the conductor, it starts behaving like a magnet, and it has its own positive and negative field. So the summation of magnetic field of the coils will behave like an imaginary magnet. So there will be a number of coils, so there will be a number of magnetic fields, so sum of all those will start behaving like it is itself a magnet. So this effect is used in the analog meters. Okay, the magnetic field in which the conductor is placed, it starts behaving like a magnet because current flows through it. So a number of conductors are there. To sum of all these conductors, all these magnetic fields will give rise to another magnet, uh, imaginary magnet. So this happens, and this will help, this effect is used in analog meters. This is one kind of effect which is known as magnetic effect. Next is thermal effect. Thermal effect, all of you must have heard about thermocouple, right? So what is thermocouple? In thermocouple, two types of metals are connected end to end, right? Two types of metals are connected end to end, right? So this junction, so there will be two junctions. When two materials, two metals are connected end to end, then there will be two junctions, right? So when the temperature is changing at one junction, with respect to the other. Suppose we are heating one junction and the other junction remains at the normal value, then this difference in temperature will give rise to an electric effect, right? It will give rise to production of some EMF. That property is used in anemometers also. This property is known as thermal effect. The measured current passes through the heating elements, increases their temperature. So what happens, we know that when current passes through conductor, the conductor gets heated up, right? The heating element will get heated up. Measure in kind, whatever is the current parameter which the quantity which we are measure in passes through the heating element, increases their temperature. The thermocouple attached to the element converts the temperature into an EMF. So the difference in temperature at the two junctions will give rise to an production of EMF. The conversion of current into an EMF with the help of temperature is known as thermal effect. So this production of EMF from current, the current is converted into EMF, but with the help of the temperature which is there, which is produced due to this current. This effect is known as thermal effect. So this effect is also applied in certain analog instrument. So those type of instruments are known as uh, thermal type of instrument that will be discussed later on. Next is electrostatic instrument. Sorry, electrostatic effect. Electrostatic effect means, suppose two parallel plates are there, okay? So when two charged parallel plates are placed near to each other, then what happens, the plates, they experience force. This force is known as electrostatic force, right? If you remember from physics, this is known as electrostatic force. This force is also used in analog meters. So this effect, electrostatic charge, the effect caused due to the charge. So the plates will be charged, and the force that the plates experience, both the plates will experience some force. So displacement of this plates will occur because of this force. So that force is used, that effect is known as electrostatic effect. The electrostatic force exerted between two charged plates, this force is used for displacing one of the plates. The instruments which work on this principle is known as electrostatic devices. So the devices which work on this electrostatic effect are known as electrostatic devices. So when two parallel plates are placed near to each other, charged, which are charged, of course the plates should be charged, then the plates will experience certain force which will help in displacement of the plates. So this effect is used in certain instruments. Those instruments are known as electrostatic devices. The device in which electrostatic effect is used, that devices are known as electrostatic devices. Okay. Next effect is induction effect. Induction means induction of something, induction of EMF, like that. So the non-magnetic conducting disk placed in the magnetic field induces an electromagnetic force. So a disk, if we place a non-magnetic conducting disk, if in a magnetic field we place a disk which is non-magnetic in nature, then there will be an EMF induced in the non-magnetic disk. This magnetic field is induced by the electromagnet which is excited by the alternating current. This magnetic field is induced by the electromagnet which is excited by the alternating current. So this magnetic field is what? There is an electromagnet between which the non-magnetic plates are disc are placed. So the electromagnet is giving the magnetic field in which the non-magnetic disk is placed. So the disk will experience electromotive force or EMF. There will be EMF induced in the plate. The electromotive force induces the current inside the drums the interaction produced by the induced current and the EMF moves the disk. This effect is mostly used in induction effect. Now let me explain. Now see what happens whenever a non-magnetic disk is placed in between electromagnets. Then what will happen? Uh, uh, the magnetic field lines, there will be the disk placed. So due to the magnetic field there will be an EMF induced in the plates. Now due to the EMF induced there will be eddy current production in the disk. Okay, eddy currents which are closed loop, which are loop currents. The loop currents flows in flat conductor, so in disk also eddy current will be there. So due to the production of eddy current, again a current is flowing, right? Eddy current is flowing. It will help in production of a torque, which will help in movement of the disk. The disk which is at rest starts moving because it will experience a force in the opposite direction, which will help in reduction of the cause. So this phenomenon is known as induction effect, and the instrument based on this principle, on this effect, are called induction instruments, that will be discussed in the later topics. So the electromagnetic motive force induces electric current inside the drums. The interaction produced by the induced current and the EMF of the disc. So the current produced by in the disc and the interaction of the EMF which was there in the disc, these both will help in production of a torque which will rotate the disc. So this is known as the induction effect. So this effect is employed in induction instruments, which I will discuss in the future. In future I will discuss. Next is Hall effect. Now what is Hall effect? The material produces an electric current in the presence of a transverse magnetic field. The voltage is produced between the two edges of the conductor. The magnitude of voltage depends on the current, flux density and property of the conductor. Now this is the Hall effect. Now what happens? I am telling you, this is a material, a Hall effect material. Okay. Now this Hall effect material, a transverse magnetic field is there. In a transverse magnetic field, this Hall effect material is placed. Okay, and current is flowing from this direction. Suppose current is flowing from here. This is again it should be a metal, right? So this Hall effect material is placed in magnetic field and the current is applied. Okay, so current is flowing. So current is flowing from two ends, two face or surfaces. The other two surfaces, there will be a potential developed among between the two other edges, this edge and this edge. So if we connect an ammeter, we can measure the current, how much is the current produced, and or if we measure the voltage, we can see the amount of voltage which is potential difference which is created here. So what happens in Hall effect? The Hall effect material is placed in transverse magnetic field and current is applied. So when current is applied, then it leads to production of potential across these two terminals. So if the loop is closed, then current starts flowing from in this way. In this loop, the current starts flowing. So this effect is known as Hall effect. This effect is also used in certain analog meters. So these are the various effects. What are the effects? The magnetic effect, heating effect, electrostatic effect, electromagnetic effect, and Hall effect. Okay, these are the 5 effects which are used in production of the deflection torque. Here I told you. Wait. Okay. Somewhere I mentioned that those effects are used to deflect the provide the deflecting torque. Yeah. The deflecting force can be produced by utilizing any of the effects mentioned earlier. So any of the effects out of the 5 effects, any of the effects may be used to provide the initial torque, initial force for deflecting the pointer. or the moving system. Okay, so that different types of effects I have just discussed, all those effects are used in deflecting force, in providing the deflecting force. So operating forces I have already discussed, so I'll move to next topic. Next topic is gravity. Okay, wait. So control system. Now just explain. Let me explain what is control system. The deflection, the pointer deflects, like in analog meters, pointers are there which deflect and we can get the reading. Now one of that, the force was known as deflecting force, as I can show here. This is the deflecting force which provides the initial motion to the pointer. Then to control the deflection of the pointer, another force is required which is known as the controlling force, right? And then to damp the pointer, another force is required which is known as damping force. So the controlling force is provided by the control system. Now there are two types of control systems which are used in analog meters. What are those? Gravity control and spring control. Two types of control systems are there, gravity control and spring control. So one by one I will discuss about gravity and spring control. Gravity control, what does it mean? It is related something to weight. Whenever gravity comes, it will be known, it is understood that gravity control, then some mass will come, some weight will come, right? So what happens in gravity control, with the pointer C, one mass is connected. Okay, this is a mass which is connected, this is the balance weight which is connected. Okay, this balance weight helps to bring the to control the deflection of the pointer. Why? Because once this pointer is deflected from the initial position, from here to here, if it is coming, so it will keep on reflecting, right? It will go like this, it will oscillate like this. But once the pointer is going here, the weight connected to this will try to bring it back to the normal position. So another force will see, once the pointer comes here, another that force, this is one force will act which will try to bring it to the central position. This is the central position, it will try to bring it to the central position. And this is another force which is taking it to that position, right? Taking it of the force which is giving the deflection. Now this is the gravitational pull, right? This is the actually what happens when the pointer is here. When where is gravitational force acting? It is always acting towards the ground. So this will experience a force which is acting towards ground. So this is the weight of the body which is acting towards ground. Now if you resolve this, it will get two components, W sin theta and W cos theta. Okay, so this W sin theta, it will try to bring back the pointer to the initial steady position, initial position. Whatever was the initial position, this weight will try to bring the spindle, the pointer, to that original position. So now let us see what is gravity control. This is what is actually gravity control. In gravity control method, a small weight is attached to the spindle of the moving system. This is the spindle, right? This is the spindle. A small weight is attached to it. Due to the gravitational pull, a controlled torque acting in opposite direction to the deflecting torque. This is the deflecting torque, right? This is the deflecting torque. From, if this is the rest position, then whatever is letting the pointer to move from here to here, that is the deflecting torque. The force which is again bringing it back to this position is the controlling force. Okay, due to the gravity pull, a controlling torque acting in opposite direction to the deflecting torque is produced whenever the pointer tends to move away from its initial position. So whenever the pointer tries to move from initial position, the gravity force, the gravitational pull, one component of this will always pull the pointer back to its initial position. So this is gravity control, where a small weight is attached to the spindle which always tries to bring the pointer back to its initial position, because the whatever amount of the initial deflecting torque is applied, controlling torque always acts in the opposite direction, equal and opposite direction. Okay, it is always equal and opposite to the deflecting torque. So by whatever force it is deflected here, the controlling force of same quantity will be applied in the opposite direction. That is the gravity control. Next is spring control method. Now another method is known as spring control method. Now as the name suggests, here are springs involved. Like in the previous case, gravity control, gravity was some weight was involved. In this case, spring is involved. Now how it is involved? Two phosphorus bronze hairsprings of spiral shapes are attached to the spindle of the moving system of the instrument. This is the spindle of the moving system. Okay. With this, two spirals springs are connected of spiral nature. See, two springs are connected. Okay. But you can see the windings are in the opposite direction. See, the windings are in the opposite direction. One is wound in anti-clockwise direction, one is wound in clockwise direction. So pointer is attached to the spindle of the moving system. With this spindle, the pointer is attached. Now how it works? The spindle is attached on two bearings. Bearings, you know, upon which the moving system rotates or moves. That is known as bearing. It provides smooth rotation or movement of the moving system. So the spindle is attached to two jewel bearings, and on these two control springs are attached. This, and one spin pointer is there. Now what happens when the pointer starts deflecting? So this will start deflecting, and if the pointer deflects, the spindle will rotate in some direction. If I am going this way, the spindle will be more rotated. If this is going this way, it will rotate this way, right? So once it is rotating this way, out of the two springs, one spring, since both are connected in opposite direction, so when one spring get wounded, other spring will be unwound. It will start, one spring will get tightened up and the other will get loosened up. So this will help in production of a force which is known as torsional force. This torsional force will help in controlling the deflection of the pointer, because up to after some point the spindle cannot rotate because of the torsional force provided by the spring, because both are wound in opposite direction. When this pointer rotates, the spindle rotates. When the spindle rotates, one of the spring will get wound and the other will get unwound. This will which will give rise to a torsional force, and it will stop the movement, or it will control the movement of the pointer. So in this way, the movement of the pointer can be controlled, because it cannot move after a certain point of time, because these will get tightened up. The movement of spindle will get stopped by the spring movement. Okay, so this control mechanism is used in speed control method. So this was all about the operating forces. Yeah, spring control and gravity control, these are the two methods. Next we'll come to damping system. But damping system, okay, I will cover in the next video. Damping system I will cover in the next video. All together there are 4 damping systems. All I will explain in the next video. So I'll stop here. The different operating forces have been discussed, and different effects which help in the deflection of the pointer have been discussed. So in the next video I'll discuss about the different types of damping systems. So these are very important for analog instruments. Damping, deflecting, all these effects are very important. So do watch the video, and if you have any doubt, you can comment. Always you can comment. And I'll stop here today. Thank you very much.